on the hardest surface in the world with knives on the bottom of their feet. They get their teeth. They have multiple captains. Can you imagine? I'm going back to my bedroom.
For mature audiences only, obviously. It ran 2010-2011, Spike TV. For water bottles. I'm going to take a sip of it right now. And we're live. Yes, we are. We are live. Welcome, everyone, back to the OB Show, episode number 2. I'm your host, Ian O'Brien. Let me just say right now, I am thirsty. I have my big gallon of water over here. This would be like 4 water bottles. I'm going to take a sip of it right now. And now let's get started. Hopefully my phone doesn't die, because when I looked, it was in fact on. I want to say around 43%, so hopefully it does not die. But we do have some big stories going on right now. A couple big stories that I do in fact want to talk about. Some really, in fact, big ones over here. So first things first, who remembers the greatest TV show of all time on Spike TV 2010-2011? That's right, Blue Mountain State University. Blue Mountain State, if you don't know, was a comedy show on Spike TV, very raunchy. For mature audiences only, obviously. It ran 2010-2011, Spike TV, who now is called Paramount, that plays shows such as Yellowstone, for example. But this was, first of all, one of the best shows ever. You had guys over here like Alan Richardson, who played Thad Castle, Alex Moran by Darren Brooks. I mean, you had a bunch of different actors over here, some talented actors. You had Coach Mario McDaniel, played by M. Marinero. I mean, you had a bunch of different famous actors, and the reason why the show ended was because it ran out of money after season 3. Basically, it's why they had to basically cancel it. You would think they would make money, but no, they actually ran out of money when developing the series, probably just because how expensive it was and all the props they had to use. And now there's in fact a sequel from Blue Mountain State that is in fact in development. So according to the article over here, if it gets pulled up, a sequel to the football series Blue Mountain State is being shopped around with Alan Richardson. Of course, he played Thad Castle once again. So the 2010 cult college football series Blue Mountain State may be making a comeback with a sequel series. The project is currently being shopped around, and Reacher star Alec Richardson is set to reprise his role as Thad Castle, or his real name Kevin Thad Castle. The original series co-leaders Darren Brooks and Chris Romano are also expecting to reprise their roles. Now, obviously, with Blue Mountain State, since it's college football, you will in fact have a new generation there. By the looks of it, you're going to have some more popular trends. You're going to have a whole new basic group, but you're going to have some of these guys come back and their old roles. So if they do come back, they're not going to be in college. They will be graduated. Thad Castle, who knows? I mean, you saw there was the rise of Thad Castle. Takes place after that, as we all know, because they released a follow-up film that was released in 2016 that was funded by a Kickstarter campaign, and it was titled Blue Mountain State: The Rise of Thadland. And that was a very mixed bag, I think, because of just how it did not have a lot of the original cast members. Besides Moran, the actor Craig Shiloh made a little appearance, and of course Thad Castle. So you did not really have much of it. So what's going to happen with this series? Well, here's why I don't think it's going to be going big and succeeding. Yeah, you got shows like Yellowstone on Paramount and all that. That's good. And you do have some streaming services with some big shows. However, you don't get a raunchy show anymore like Blue Mountain State. For example, the oil change episode that I actually just watched with my girlfriend here tonight. That episode basically would not be here on TV nowadays. Same with the one, for example, where they're all trying to get with the cougar and all that stuff. And the one where Craig Shiloh gets a beat chain from a trans guy. Like, I mean, that would not be allowed on TV nowadays. I'm just sorry to say that right now. If they would, this one I don't think it's going to succeed, because it's going to go woke. You're going to have a couple woke things in there, and unfortunately the series will in fact get part of the whole cancel culture, which isn't as big as it was before, but I still think that this series would in fact be canceled unless they decide they'll make it maybe streaming only, put on Paramount, maybe shop it around to like Amazon Prime and see what they could do with that. But it's interesting to see what happened over here with Blue Mountain State. This is a series, by the way. 2010 2011 caught everyone's hearts basically. It's an 8.3 out of 10. Yeah, season 3 it was, kind of get into it, but you know, there's a bunch of stuff over here that ratings were dropping and everything, but they in fact even said, and here's a quote that they said right now: everyone thought that the ratings fell during the final season, which why they didn't go for season 4, but no, really it was a budget issue. So really they were losing money the whole time while making this. And again, you gotta pay the actors, it's expensive. Spike TV going on down phase. Remember, Spike TV at one point was the stuff. I mean, not only did you have something like this, but for a while right there, even before this, before Blue Mountain State came out, you had WWE on there. If you don't remember, the Ruthless Aggression era was on Spike TV for a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. So Spike TV was at an all-time high. Now, of course, as we know, it's Paramount. They show nothing but Yellowstone, pretty much. And I don't got a problem with that. I love me some Yellowstone, but it's just to see a fall of something. And for Blue Mountain State, of course, it's on Amazon Prime, Tubi. It's on a lot of different stations that you can look at, and it's going to be interesting just to see what happens with this series. I think the series could definitely have the potential to be just as good as the first one back in 2010. But again, you're going to have to get some of the cast members back, and it's going to be a newer generation, which means you probably won't be getting away with as many jokes because of a lot of people taking offense to it as you were able to back in 2010. Because we are in a whole new style of generation over here, or in a whole new style of basically people being offended by everything. So you can't really do what you did before. You could try, but you're going to have to switch it up and maybe censor a little bit, and that's not what Blue Mountain State is. Blue Mountain State's not supposed to have really censoring unless basically, of course, it's a sex scene, but anything else, they are not supposed to have really any sort of censoring, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this. But who remembers, once again, I mean, who else do you have on Blue Mountain State? You had Sammy, a few other, few other characters. You had, Brandon Randell. I don't know if you remember him, basically with the agent episode. That episode's funny. Basically where Sammy was paying them with all these illegal agents and they were getting all these watches and everything. I mean, that episode was funny. Or, excuse me, a little bit of a cough right there. Another episode was actually where you had them in a church group, because if Marty didn't, then he'd be fired by the, basically, I think it was the president of the university and the president's wife, which is actually Marty's former wife, which is, I'm coughing a lot, but it's also messed up. I gotta get my water over here, I'm not even gonna lie. Hopefully that does it. But yeah, I'm gonna like to see what this series does, and I hope it does get greenlit, and I hope that we finally get something really big over here. They said it's in the works, and that's really what's going to be interesting over here. And I'm interested to, in fact, see what happens with Blue Mountain State coming here in the near future. And again, all we can hope for is that it's just like the original. Alright, so now other big news. I know a lot of people like Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Jr. is a big, popular name in sports and motorsports as well. Well, this is just a bombshell of the news over here. So NBC, for NASCAR fans, the last couple of years have been basically riding off the Dale Jr. train. The ratings skyrocket because Dale Jr. pretty much. Like, let's be real here. Dale Earnhardt Jr. makes the ratings go. So, according to an article over here, The Athletic and a few others are reporting. Trust me, I promise I don't have COVID or anything. I'm like just coughing a lot right now from talking and all this stuff, but let me take a breather. It says Dale Jr. leaving NBC for Amazon Prime and Warner Bros., which is TNT. So, the biggest name in NASCAR is on the move. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is leaving NBC and heading to racing's newcomers, Amazon Prime Video and TNT, the return of TNT in NASCAR in 2025. WBD Sports and Amazon began their coverage that same year. The move figures to give WBD Sports and Amazon instant credibility when they start their series. Each will have 5 races a season. WBD Sports races will be broadcasted on TNT, streamed on Max, and have a Bleacher Report component. NASCAR complements WBD Sports' robust NBA, NCAA tournament, MLB, and NHL now. And they just add NASCAR to the list, so that means they are becoming big and even bigger in sports than probably ESPN at this point. At the same time, Amazon Prime subscription service already features the NFL Thursday Night Football games, and it's going to be on the NBA when they in fact get that whole partnership with Bally going, which means you're going to have your regional broadcasts. For example, me in Ohio, as you can see, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Bally Sports will be on Amazon Prime, and they would probably broadcast the Cleveland Cavaliers games. Well, going back to this, Earnhardt informed NBC on his decision last week, according to sources familiar with the conversation. While Earnhardt is expected to take the year off, he does own the flexibility to do another deal with 1 or 2 broadcast partners, which are Fox and NBC. There are no substantial talks at this point with either. So, this is really a drop for NBC because Dale Jr. does not only cover NASCAR, he covers the Indy 500, Kentucky Derby, the Olympics. Even he could be on the NFL sometimes for all we know, like out of nowhere if they wanted to. But he is the biggest name of everything, basically, in all motorsports, the son of Dale Sr., legendary NASCAR driver, and losing him on NBC is a big-time bust. Now, Steve Letarte, Rick Allen, I listen to their broadcast. Be honest, I don't mind Rick Allen. He messes up time to time, and I think he just gets really excited when he broadcasts. Everyone gets excited once in a while, you know what I mean? Steve Letarte, he has great analysis. Jeff Byrne, over the top, but he puts in a lot of more logic as well. But not having someone like Dale Jr. there is really going to take a toll, and I don't think you're going to have the same amount of chemistry as you did before. Dale Jr. is the chemistry. He's the one that brings the fans to NBC. People love Dale Jr., most popular driver for, 16 years in NASCAR, I think, 17 years. But now, with him leaving to go to Prime and TNT, you know for a fact both of those networks are going to skyrocket in 2025. And besides, NBC is losing a lot of coverage kind of anyways because Amazon Prime is going to cover the practices, the qualifying, and everything every single week. Kind of going back to the old roots of NASCAR when they used to air all that. Meanwhile, TNT is going to get the second half. And if it's not on TNT, you know they're going to probably stream it on something like Max. So this is a really big blow for NBC, who has been really good with their NASCAR coverage, but now with all these different signings, I don't think the future's really looking good for them right now. I mean, they're still under contract, of course, but I don't know. This just does not sit well if you are a NASCAR and NBC fan, and do not be surprised, honestly, if the next, I want to see really when the contract is up. If I can even find it over here. Okay, so it's the new agreement begins in 2025. So that's what it is. And that's why Dale Jr. wasn't back to it. And they did agree on a 7-year media right deal with Fox as well. So, you know, NBC also pays about $7.7 billion. Problem is they're not going to have the Xfinity series, since that will be, in fact, on the CW network. However, to the CW network, in a way, they will actually have some of that because I think it's a little affiliation going on. After all, some CW networks are connected to like local NBC networks somehow. So I don't know if there's connection with the other ones there. But in the meantime, we can see that right now NBC should be a little bit worried depending on what happens and if they can find maybe someone to replace Dale Jr. I mean, you could try for someone like a Tony Stewart. He won't be Dale Jr., but he could give you great insight. I mean, someone like that. Try one of the older drivers too, Wardburn maybe. Just something along the lines of that. Unfortunately, you can't do someone like Sterling Marlin. Has an unfortunate disability. You can't really do. Maybe bring back honestly someone like Jimmy Spencer. Jimmy Spencer was really good for a NASCAR race up. He could be really good insight, in my opinion, for when it comes to broadcasting NASCAR races on Sundays for NBC. I think he could be really good at that. All right, now how about Shane Gillis? First of all, Shane Gillis, by the looks of it over here, comedian, as we all know, he had a stand-up monologue on SNL recently, and we're actually going to play this. This is 8 minutes long. I'm going to play only a little bit of it. I have it actually connected over here to my AirPods, so I might actually have to take my AirPods out for this. All right, I don't think it is connected to my AirPods, is it? I guess it is connected to my AirPods. Okay, so I got to go to my Bluetooth, actually. I'm actually going to, again, it's late at night. I'm going to have to, like... Let me see if I could, there we go. Okay, let's see. I don't think y'all will be able to hear it anyways from my AirPods. Maybe so, I'm not sure. But here's Shane Gillis on SNL. And for the record, I'm not a big SNL fan anymore. I think, in my opinion, too political. They don't have any more jokes besides, oh, we gotta make fun of Trump again and all that. Again, I'm not a Trumper, but you gotta come up with something new, and they just don't. So Shane Gillis over here was a big-time starter. I see it went back actually to my AirPods. Actually, real quick, before it is, I want to see actually if this goes connected to my if I can actually hear it through my AirPods, if it could go through the phone. So I'm gonna actually hear it real quick, and I'll be right back, and we'll see what we could do.
Who I am? I was fired from this show a while ago, but if don't look that up, please. If you don't know who I am, please don't Google that. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. I don't know. I probably shouldn't be up here, honestly. I should be home. I should be a high school football coach. That's what I should be. Like, God molded me perfectly to be a high school football coach / ninth grade sex education teacher. But that is what I want to be. That is, I can feel it. It's in there. It's like my true calling. And you feel, I can feel it. I'm getting older. It's passing me by. Like my biological clock is ticking on this stream. You know how like when a woman's biological clock is ticking, she sees like a baby in a stroller and is like, oh my God, your baby. Like that's how I am if I see like a big 15-year-old. I'm like, oh my God, look at the size of that kid.
That makes me really
With the
shiny.
right coaching, that kid could be
Especially
something
since I
special.
have hair and it's all shaved off. But this is funny right here.
I come from a long line of coaches in my family. My father is actually a volunteer assistant girls high school basketball coach.
Volunteer
He's actually here right now. You get him
girls
on there?
basketball team.
Yeah.
Yep.
There he is. There's my dad, the volunteer assistant girls high school basketball coach.
That's terrible putting your dad like that.
You don't think that's
Roasting
funny?
them
My
on
dad here to make fun
SNL
of him
national
for being a girls' high school basketball
TV.
coach?
That's crazy.
All right. I thought it was great. Never mind. Thought that was going to be a big hit here. Now, my mom's up there with him. My mom, I'm not going to make funny. My mom asked me this a lot, and it's kind of an intense question. My mom asked me, she's like, when did we stop being best friends? And she's right. We used to be best friends. You remember that when you were a little boy and you loved your mom and you thought she was the cool. You remember when you were gay? You remember you were just a gay little.
I don't know how he did not get canceled for this, because SNL again is big on politics, and especially that you see in the real world nowadays. Basically, again, where it's a lot of LGBTQ and all that stuff going on. I'm surprised that they let him get away with this, honestly. But again, it's much needed because comedy's much needed in the world. And mostly, in my opinion, like 90% of the people in the world are big on comedy. Like, they need some comedy in their life. Shane Gillis over here puts out really good comedy. And that whole thing, because, you know, gay used to mean happy back in the day and everything. And he was basically saying that term, but, you know, some people would still get offended by it. I mean, it's just what it is. And I don't think, honestly, you know, if you get offended by it, I mean, it's your thing. Like, if you get offended by it, then, you know, you just don't have to watch it. You know, you can watch something else that you like. Like, you don't have to watch someone that says gay, and not that term, by the way. They're saying it in the old style term where it's happy. But, you know, if you want, again, it's your choice, really, and stuff like that. But, like, you know, this is a good stand-up comedian bit by SNL, and I have to give them credit. You know, I've not given something like Saturday Night Live credit in a while. And honestly, this was really good. This was a really good part that they did over here. You can watch the full video once again on YouTube. It is, in fact, of course, on Saturday Night Live's YouTube channel, Shane Gillis stand-up. I'm actually watching the last couple minutes of it, though.
Zero difference. I was gay for my mom. She would pick me up from school. I'd hop in the van. I'd be like, girl, tell me about your day. I thought she was cool. I would listen to her music. I'd be like, bam, 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 bam. Let's go, girls.
Oh, that's hilarious right there. And I gotta give all the credit to someone like Shane Gillis. That right there is, I'm not, you know, I'm a fan, I would say. Like, I've been trying to listen to more of his stuff, and it's been, like, really funny, like, especially listening to stuff like that. And he's had a Live in Austin stand-up comedy show as well. And I've seen a few, because there's another podcaster I know who's a big Shane Gillis fan who talked about on his podcast, and that would be my man, Luke Papala. Go subscribe to the Luke Papala show, by the way. But this guy is really good. And these comments are crazy. Don't clap now, shut up is the funniest thing I've ever seen. LMFAO, I can't believe he did this set on SNL of all places. Legend. Flu season going around. I don't know. As a mom of 3 boys, I really felt, when did you stop being my best friend line? Glad to know it was nothing I did. Here's one with 200. That one had 606 likes. 202 likes. I was waiting for a long cane to pull off stage any second. Easily the funniest SNL has ever been. The funniest in a long time. And he was long came because of the cancel culture. So what he was basically saying, where NBC would have canceled him possibly because of that. Let's see what else there is. Him closing with 21 Savage here is one of the funniest parts. The one band member, 12 o'clock behind him, just not enjoying the set. I mean, there's a lot of funny comments that you should go look at over there. I mean, those comments are incredible. And it's honestly really funny. I suggest that you go check it out. Once again, it's on Saturday Night Live's YouTube channel. This was, in fact, from last week. Once again, it was uploaded around last week. I'm going to probably upload this. I'm thinking Sunday is when it should get uploaded. I want to do some editing on it Saturday, and Sunday is when the upload should be. So stuff will, in fact, be different from now. Like, you won't have, like, everything might be a little outdated, but by that I mean by like a week. But still, it was a funny skit. It's funny to see. It's really fun to just see how good they could be on SNL when they decide to not do the same old redundant jokes that they've been doing for the last 6-7 years now. Because that's a real big thing of fresh air. And I hope they continue to do that. I hope Saturday Night Live continues to get more comedians on there. Not just go politics like they've been doing. Go the comedian route, because that's what gets people entertained. That will drive not only people from left, right, middle, wherever the heck you are, maybe different countries. It will drive new fans. You could see a new generation of different people, Gen Z, millennials. They turn on SNL that they haven't seen in a while. Oh, look, Shane Gillis is on. Oh, this is funny. This is going to get me into SNL. That is really big right there, and that's what you exactly need for this type of content on your show. And I give all the credit up to NBC, Saturday Night Live, Shane Gillis for making that happen right there. Not a lot of times that you see me compliment something like Saturday Night Live anymore, but it's all the credit that they get. They deserve all that credit for sure. And I think, honestly, that might be really it for all the news right over here. Everything I was going to really talk about. I don't think there's really a lot more to talk about, to be honest. I talked about really everything. The NASCAR finish, by the way. I made a YouTube short on that. Go check that out. But that was really big. I guess another thing would be actually is that I talked about EA Sports College Football last week. EA Sports College Football, as we all know, is coming back. College Football 25. Now, they decided to get a whole new announcing team. Kirk Herbstreit's going to reprise his role. You won't have Lee Corso anymore, which is sad. But, I mean, Lee Corso, once again, is like 88 years old. Obviously, you're not going to have him. Kirk Herbstreit, I made this as well as my YouTube short. What was it? Chris Fowler's going to be in it. You're going to have Jesse Palmer, David Pollock, and Kevin Connors. All of them will, in fact, be in the role, and Kirk Herbstreit's reprising his role in the new NCAA football game. Once again, this game's already been listed on the PlayStation 5 store, on the Xbox store. I'm waiting for this baby to come out over here. I'm ready for it. My body is ready. As Reggie Fils-Aimé said one time, the president of Nintendo, I am ready for this game to come out, and I cannot wait to, in fact, play all of it. Because, again, I haven't played an NCAA football game. Well, I played like 04 on the emulator. I don't have my 360 anymore, so I can't play 14 unless I go to like someone that I know's house. I don't have any of the other games anymore. Like, it's crazy, honestly. I had to like get an emulator for it and all that. I mean, I haven't had any of these games in a while, so I cannot wait, honestly, to see all of these, this NCAA football, college football 25, and I cannot wait to finally play it. I hope it's not Madden based. I hope we actually have some really good gameplay, really good recruiting modes, transfer portal that we could have, NIL deals. I want to get my people some NIL deals. I want my own team. I will make the Blue Mountain State Goats on that game. I will mod them in if I can. And I will be like that episode with Sammy giving out contracts like to the agents, having the agents sign on. Like, I will do something like that, guarantee it, and I will win championships on EA Sports College Football 24. That's really all I think we have in the news for most of it. So, here's another one. So, World Health Organization, the WHO, has obesity and overweight. So, some key facts actually that I found. So, in 2022, 1 in 8 people in the world were living with obesity. Worldwide, adult obesity has more than doubled since 1990. Obviously, probably because of the pandemic, where they kept everyone inside. In 2022, 2.5 billion adults 18 years or older were overweight. Of these, 890 million were living with obesity. In 2022, 43% of adults aged 18 and over were overweight, and 16% were living with obesity. And in 2022, 37 million children under the age of 5 were overweight. Now, why are children overweight? Why are they going overweight? My opinion, it's the iPads. Again, the iPads are a big thing, and they mostly cause our kids, some of these new generation kids, millennials, Gen Z, whatever generation we're on right now, like Gen Y. I don't even know the generations, to be honest. But, like, it's causing us right now to just be separated, divided, not social, not beneficial, and not healthy over here. I'm a guy who lifts weights, as you can tell. I work out a bunch. In my opinion, we gotta go back to the working out part. We won't have any physical activity in the future if the iPad kids, phone kids, more PS4, Xbox kids to keep on taking over. We need to bring back more fitness and stuff like that. And if you don't like it, that's okay. We need to at least bring back, like, more games to, like, dodgeball and all that stuff. We gotta have some more fun and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We need to make sure that we beat obesity and all this stuff happening. We do that, we will be in good shape. That's all I gotta say right there. But, alright, that seems to be really pretty much it in that situation. Once again, I want to see what it is, in fact. Oh yeah, I guess a new one before we go. How about the CDC lifted finally the COVID isolation guideline for people who test positive? I don't think a lot of people were even doing this just now, to be honest with you. I know I wasn't doing it. A lot of people I know weren't doing it and stuff. I mean, it was big in 2020, 2021, even a little bit in 2022 because you knew what was going on. Since then, though, I mean, everyone's basically said, all right, no one cares anymore. We want to go live our life. So the isolation guideline for people who test positive it doesn't exist anymore, pretty much. It was that first 5 days. Now it's basically nothing, and everyone's just trying to live their life like they do every single day. Once again, that's the biggest thing to go by here. Live your life the way you are. Don't tell anyone how to live your life. You live your own life. You live your own life, you're going to end up in big places. I'm just going to say it right now. You will be big. You will be maybe Hollywood if you want to, but you will even be bigger than that. You could be on anywhere like ESPN, Fox News, CNN, anywhere you want to be. If you want to be like an anchor or anything like that, as long as you live your life. You could be engineering, you live your life doing that, you will go to big places. Also, I hope you all like the sports stuff I have in the back over here. So in the back, Cleveland Browns helmet. I have a Browns mug right there. Nick Chubb cereal box. I have some helmets over here. That's Missouri, Cardinal Mooney, Kansas. You can't see the other one. There's a Denver Broncos helmet though. That's blocking right there. But that's basically all of this. Is basically right now going to be pretty much my new background for most of these podcasts over here. But yeah, so CDC guideline has been in fact uplifted now. Basically, you don't have to do anything. I think a lot of people weren't even doing that to begin with, to be honest. I mean, back in 4th of July, I did. I don't know if I had it or not. I didn't test, but like I'm pretty sure I might have had it. But most people just don't care now. They just want to go live their life and do what they wanted to do during the pandemic in 2020. But that's pretty much about it, everyone. Thank you once again so much for tuning in over here. Once again, the Ian O'Brien Show, the OB Show, I should actually call it. It used to be actually the OB Talk Wire. Now, it rebranded, as we all know, is the OB Show. I'm going to have a couple guests, hopefully, on soon. I'm going to try and get a whole guest list to see who they want, and we could get this thing started with some guests, and some good guests I know who are, in fact, around the area. And I will keep you updated on that, by the way, over here, once again, on YouTube. And I'm going to make an X account for this soon. And I will also be making, maybe possibly a TikTok with this and uploading my stuff there. But once again, I want to thank you all so much over here for everything, the support that you have on this channel. 167 subscribers. Let's get to 200. And let's keep on going forward. The ship is only going to grind, and it's only going to aim high right there. It's going to aim super higher than what it was before. But I want to thank you all again so much over here. And this is, of course, recorded Saturday morning, 1:37 a.m. I want you all to have a great night, sleep well, and live your life. And once again, that Blue Mountain State sequel, just get ready for that when it comes out. I know I talked about it already, and a lot of people are going to be talking about it and are praying that thing does come to life and doesn't get canceled. But once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll see you all next time here on the OB Show.